Alrighty guys, we are back. Patch 4.2 has dropped, which means that there are some new tanks, new content out here for me to do some videos on. Sorry I have not been doing many videos lately. School got more crazy than I thought it was going to be, and there wasn't really any good content and stuff that I was really excited about. Not to mention I was building a PC build for games. So let me know if you guys want to see some other games on my channel. But for now, it's just going to be World of Tanks Blitz. There's a lot of new content out. AMX 1390, this beauty, rocking the Clan Wars 3 camo, as well as this little tank, the Batchet 25T Musketeer Edition with the legendary camo. And I really like the look of this camo. But full name of this tank is the, gonna butcher this, but Batchatillon 25 ton. It is armed with the top gun of a 105mm MLE 57 D1504. I'm just going to do some quick little stats for it. 3 shells in the magazine, 3-second shell reload, 13.6 second magazine reload, 240 pen on its APCR, 295 heat, 53 on HE, which is pretty good. Unlike other 105mm guns in the game, this only has 310 base alpha with 260 heat and 380 HE. I've running this at 0.319 dispersion, 3-second aiming time. This thing pretty much has no armor. It has 60mm on the front, so about as much as a Leo 1, so you will get the occasional troll bounce, which you will see in my last gameplay. It has 1800 stock hit points. I am running the equipment that gives it more hit points. I'm running vents, supercharged, so I get a little bit better shell velocity at the long range, and less penetration loss with distance because this thing does have APCR. Standard is APCR is pretty low, and vertical stabilizers, which helps it fire in the move. And since this is a light tank here on Blitz, is a very good thing. Anyways, guys, this is the Batchet. I'm running more hit points, or more HP, or horsepower, because this thing's all about its engine. It's fast, it's low, it's sleek. Its view range is a little bit less than some other mediums, but it does have light tank camo, which I don't have the values for yet. But yeah. Anyways, I do have a gaming PC set up, like I said earlier, so most of my gameplay is going to be on keyboard and mouse. I do occasionally play it on tablet still, just to stay in the groove, because Twister Cup is coming up, and that's just going to be touch controls only. My clan did manage to get first place for tier 7 and 8 in the Twister Cup tournament season, so that's pretty good for us. I'm going to try getting some tournament footage recorded, maybe put that up on the channel. But yeah, guys, excited to bring you some new content. I've been given trouble by my intro of hey 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 tankers, so I'm going to cease using that. So let's get into some gameplay here, guys. See you in just a second. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna get into a really quick bit of gameplay here. I am playing this on keyboard and mouse because I recently built a gaming PC. I wanted to get into some new games and try the PC Master Race. I really like it. It was a struggle at first to learn how everything works. Anyways, patch 4.2 has been dropped by Wargaming, so after updating and playing the last tournament of this season of Twister Cup, I have managed to procure the Batchet 25T with the legendary camo called the Musketeer. So we're here in Yamato Harbor. I am in the Batchet, which is a tiny little tank, and here on Blitz, it is classified as a light tank, which I think defines its role a little bit better. So I'm asking my team if we want to go over here into the hills area, which is what I really prefer because this is a light tank, so mobility is one of the things that's going to keep you alive. This thing has pretty much no armor. Yeah, it's a light tank. Your gun is, it's alright. You have 240mm APCR pen,
290 or 300 heat pen, which is, it's alright. It's not great. This thing does struggle to pen some tanks, but I do manage to put one right underneath the Object 263 in its lower plate. I am very concerned about tanks over there on my right, because they can get smashed, and if this thing gets shot, it dies very quickly. So I'm just trying to peek around the corner, see if I can't spot things up from my TDs that are hopefully supposed to be camping in the back. Leopard comes around the corner, I can put one into him and pull back. This thing really does have good mobility, and the camo resets, and it's hard to spot it. So I'm just trying to be here, leverage in, put shots where I can. I'm going to peek back out here. I see these IS-7 about to crest. I don't think I'm spotted. I dart the shot into the hill, but I pull back so I don't get shot. So I still have full health. I'm using the health boost on this thing because it doesn't have any armor really to speak of. So I'm just trying to decide whether or not I want to bug out and help my heavies in town. I decided to not do that. Instead I pop out here. I put one into the IS-7, put another one, and a third one that bounces. But I did put some damage out. I did take a shot in doing that, but I wanted to really not let that IS-7 push up on those mediums that are on my left, because if those mediums fall, then I won't really have any cover. I'm pretty sure that my right side is safe now because our heavy tanks have moved in. Our E-50 does go down. Their 263 decides to push around the corner. I put one into him. Our M48 is doing a really good job here of drawing their attention. This thing can really leverage off a... I managed to put a full clip into that 263. This thing has 310 alpha, so you're talking about a clip average damage of about 930. Their 704 really wanted a piece of me, so I'm just going to bugger out of there. They decide to go after, I think, a tortoise that's over there on my left now. So I take out their 263, put one into the side of their 704, and unfortunately I jerked one into that spaced arm on the side of the 704, which really is going to end up costing us here later on. I'm a lot better at keyboard and mouse than I used to be when I first started a couple weeks ago, but at the same time I'm not nearly as good as on this as I am on touch. I'm thinking about diving in there to assassinate that guy, but there's just too many enemy tanks around here. So I bounce one off the side of the IS-7. I have two left in the magazine. I'm just trying to leverage off the two heavy tanks that I have that are mostly full health. Not sure exactly where I want to go. I thought the 704 was going to push around. I'm going to go down here. Their T-62A was spotted, and here you can kind of see I'm not quite comfortable with how the mouse moves yet, so I do derp that shot. Their 704 is angling back here, so I don't get a good hit connection. I get shot by the T-62A, which puts me down to a possible one-shot. Or now I'm a definite one-shot. I was at 900 health, so I burn my speed boost just to get out of there. I have a full clip now. I'm pretty sure that my E100 was going to be able to handle that M103, so I want to pull around here to put a thing. And I see the T-62A coming, and bounce one off his side. Bounce one, which this thing does have decent armor. Put one into his tracks, and now I'm dead because it's a Russian medium. Trying to get around the corner, nope. So I did bounce one off that broad flat side, which was a little bit of a annoyance. This thing is very hard to do damage in. It's so light, and it's a new tank, so people are going to focus it. You can see our wonderful mouse there, just punching shots out and missing. Letting my team know that I bounced, because so my team's going to make the right decision here. Try to get into the cap. We have 2 minutes left, so 2 of them should be able to cap. We need 1 minute and 40 for a single tank to cap. So we get him into here. The T-62A is spotted up there in the top, which I think the E100 should have pushed through here, but I was just trying to stay silent. T-62A is going to do a pretty ballsy thing here. Mouse derps a shot to the wall. T62A knows he can take a shot, puts a heat round right through the mouse's front, resets the cap. Now it's a minute 27 left. And this is where I make a mistake and I say draw, and that prompts the mouse to go out of the cap. And if he would have stayed in the cap, we probably would have been able to cap and get the win. So that is my fault there. And now that he's left the cap, the mouse is, or the E100 is still in the cap. Mouse misses again. Waggling on my screen, which is another good thing about PC. Really waggle your screen when you get angry or annoyed. It's good stress relief. Yeah, if the mouse would have stayed in the cap zone, we would have been able to cap. So that is bad on my part. I think the T62A actually ended up bouncing that shot. Or he missed. But I tell him to use APCR for velocity. He puts one in the bush, so T62A does end up getting a Spartan medal, so he bounced one of those two shots. Which kind of screws us over. GG to that T62A. He played a really good game. Really worked hard to get that 1 versus 3 draw. Audio cuts out here because I was going to Discord because I kept getting notifications. Anyways, draw with 89 on the cap. So yeah, we would have won if the mouse would have stayed in. This is a 3,000 damage game, which pretty much is the highest damage I've managed to get recorded. I did have a 4,500 damage game, but my recorder decided to crap out in that. So it is what it is. This is only a first look, and this is one of the games where you really saw that I was able to leverage off my team's hit points. I got a couple troll bounces because this thing does have 60mm of frontal hull armor at a pretty good angle. But the inability of it to really just take any shots really hurts this thing in its ability to put damage out there. Its clip isn't exactly overwhelming. Its inner clip reload isn't overwhelming. It's alright, but it's no better than any of the other autoloaders at tier 10. Its pen is pretty bad. It has pretty good DPM, surprisingly. But for me as a 55% player, I find it very hard to leverage this tank and carry with it. And it's a very good in the late game to put in that late damage. And if you're on the map where you can really move around and have some other mediums to really leverage against, you can do pretty well. But other than that, you're going to really struggle. We'll get into the next little bit of gameplay right here in a second. Alrighty guys, getting in the next little bit of gameplay here. I have played about 50 battles in this. I have under 2,000 average damage with a 50% win rate, so I'm kind of struggling with this. I think today, when I've been recording this morning, when I'm recording the audio for this, I played about 20 matches prior to this. My average damage in that was over 2,000, so I think I'm starting to figure out how to play this tank. It's not so much a dedicated support tank as it is a camp ED McCamperson's until about mid-game, when you see where the lines are drawn and where the line and where the enemy is, what they're doing, how they're doing. That's really where you can start leveraging your hopefully mostly full hit point pool to put out those 930 damage bombs. I didn't like the queue time there, so I ended up going back to garage and clicking back in. I'm going to use the time in queue to just kind of talk about my impressions of the tank at 50 battles. It's a fun tank to play. It can also be extremely frustrating. I originally was running it with the pen boost because the pen is just absolutely horrible on this thing, and it struggles to pen parts of the AMX-50B turret, which again is frustrating. But it is what it is, so I decided to run vents to get that little bit better DPM, a little bit better clip reload, and I think it's starting to work. Anyways, going here on Rockfield, I am again top tier because this is a tier 10 tank. There are 2 tier 9s on each team. I am playing keyboard and mouse. You will notice that the mini-map is down in the lower left corner. Anyways, I do call to the right because this tank does not do well in corridor fights. I really like the camo on this. I run into a corner here, which is entirely my fault because I'm driving on keyboard and mouse, so using the WASD keys. Their musketeer does a little run in there and actually gets spotted. I think somebody shoots at me but hits the rock, so this thing is pretty fast. It's pretty nimble. It's very small, very low profile. It has pretty good camo. So RM48 decides to push up there to get that position. He's going to lose a lot of health for it later on. I spot the grill. He fires, so I decided that I'm going to push over and get one into him. I track him, but he repairs his tracks before I get my clip reloaded, and I don't want to stay out there, so I go for a full clip reload. This is the early game. I'm just trying to put in shots where I can. I'm not too concerned out with getting full clips out there. I've really learned that in the late game, you really just gotta or in the early game, just don't focus on putting out clips. Just focus on putting sneaky shots in where you can. DPM isn't everything in the beginning of the game. You're just trying to leverage your teammates, find gaps where you can exploit and put your full magazine in when the enemies are distracted. I'm thinking about trying to put some stuff out here. I do get spotted and absolutely hit. I put one out, looking for two, but he just backs off. So I will pop my multi-purpose repair kit because I did have a dead driver. I'm gonna get out of here. I have two shells left. Go for a full clip reload, which I do like the clip reload for this. It's very low for what the alpha is. I see that my Jaegeru is in a lot of trouble here, so I-7's distracted. Find that front drive wheel, get a fire. 2 and 3. I do get hit in the process, but that's part of the course for this tank. Our Tortoise is dealing with the Leopard 1, who is right around 960 health, so I might be able to clip him. Theoretically, I won't. I put one into him, but we do have a T-57 Heavy who's pushing up, and that tank has gotten really good after the 2.5 second interclip reload it has. So that guy dies. I have 2 left in the magazine. I see a Leo PTA here. I know that my T-57 Heavy has 1 left in the shell, so I'm just going to put 1 in. This guy does a very good job, and here you can see that I'm not quite comfortable with PC controls yet. I struggle in this kind of close quarters fight. I'm at very low health now, so I'm trying to stay alive, but T-57 Heavy gets in and puts out the damage. I say GG, but it never goes out. 2.8k damage here. 1,300 spare parts for that, for a mission. 1 destroyed tank. That kind of shows how I play this tank, and it does alright, especially now that I've started being a lot more passive in the early game, not trying to put out full magazines, just trying to take shells where I can. I reload early and often during the early game. The mid game I start trying to flex around, look for weaknesses, look for low health tanks, look for 1v1s that I can jump in and shift the balance of that engagement into my teammates' favor. And it works pretty well. I've not been able to run this very well in platoons. I haven't had any good platoon moments yet, but I will hopefully have more gameplay out within a couple days here. AMX 1390, I have a pretty good game for that, so you guys will see first impressions video for that as well within the next couple days. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Have a good day tanking, ladies and gentlemen.